Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? Today we're tackling the world of equipment leasing and financing.
Ooh, sounds complex.
It is, but that's why we're here. We're going to trace how this industry has evolved over the past 40 years.
40 years. Wow, that's a lot of ground to cover.
It is, but thankfully we've got an awesome article from the rate card to guide us.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the main takeaway? What's the big picture here?
So the article's main point is that this industry has gone through a massive transformation, right?
Makes sense. I mean, technology has changed so much in 40 years. It's got to have impacted everything.
Exactly. And we're talking about changes in sales, operations, even the way leases are financed.
So it's not just about the equipment itself. It's a whole ecosystem around it.
You got it. So to really understand where we're at now, we need to go back to the beginning.
Back to the 80s and early 2000s.
Right. Think like Mad Men, but for leasing deals.
Oh, I get it. Lots of 3 martini lunches and deals sealed with a handshake.
Exactly. It was all about personal connections, building trust, and mountains of paperwork.
Yeah, the article mentioned cold calls and trade shows being the main ways to generate leads.
Can you imagine? No social media, no targeted ads, just pure hustle.
That's a completely different world.
Yeah.
And operationally, forget about fancy software or automation. It was all spreadsheets and maybe some basic databases.
So like rooms full of filing cabinets and teams manually processing every single lease.
You got it. Think about the potential for errors, the time it took to get anything done.
It's mind-boggling how they managed to scale their businesses back then.
And then there's securitization, which is basically bundling leases together to create investments.
Hold on, can we rewind a bit? Securitization, that went over my head.
Sure. Imagine a bunch of mortgages, right? You package them together and sell them as an investment.
Okay, so it's like spreading the risk across a bunch of different leases.
Exactly. It lets investors put their money to a pool of leases instead of just one.
Got it. So how did that work back in the early days?
Well, back then, securitization was like this brand new thing, and only the biggest companies could do it.
So smaller companies were kind of stuck with traditional bank loans and stuff.
Yeah, which sometimes made it harder for them to grow and compete.
So we're already seeing some limitations that were kind of setting the stage for change.
Definitely. As technology started to creep in, things began to shift.
That's where we'll pick up next time. The mid-2000s to the 2010s, that's when things get really interesting.
The transition era. I can't wait to see how it all unfolded.
Me neither. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors.
We'll delve into how the industry started to embrace technology and really transform itself.
Buckle up because things are about to get exciting.
All right, so we left off with the industry on the verge of some major changes.
Right. The mid-2000s to the 2010s, this is when technology really starts to reshape the landscape.
And it's not just about, automating a few tasks here and there.
It's a complete overhaul.
Yeah. Digital becomes the foundation of everything.
So we're talking websites, email, early CRM systems like Salesforce, right?
Yep, all that. Companies realize they can't just rely on personal connections anymore.
They got to up their game.
Exactly. They need to prove their value, show what makes them different.
So instead of just focusing on relationships, they start offering customized solutions and specialized services.
Right. It's about tailoring things to each client's specific needs.
And this shift had a big impact on the operational side too, right?
Huge. Automation starts taking root. ERP systems, specialized leasing software, even early versions of e-signatures pop up.
So things are getting more streamlined, less reliant on mountains of paperwork.
Yeah, think real-time deal tracking, automated workflows, all that jazz.
And what about securitization? Did that change at all?
It did. New platforms emerge, making it easier for smaller companies to get involved.
So it's not just the big players anymore.
Nope. We start to see a democratization of financing options.
That's a game changer.
Totally. And this is all just the beginning.
Wait, there's more.
Oh, yeah. In the next part, we'll explore the 2010s to the present.
Where AI and all these futuristic technologies come into play.
It's going to be wild.
Okay, so we've seen how technology has completely reshaped the landscape of equipment leasing and financing. But where do we go from here? What does the future hold?
Well, the article paints a pretty exciting picture of what's to come. And one of the biggest trends we're seeing is this idea of hyper-personalization.
Hyper-personalization. Sounds intense.
It is. Imagine a world where AI can craft the perfect pitch tailored to your specific needs and goals.
Whoa, so like it knows exactly what you're looking for before you even ask.
Exactly. It analyzes your data, understands your business, and predicts your future needs.
So AI is like your personal leasing guru guiding you towards the best options.
In a way, yeah. But it's not about replacing human interaction entirely.
Right, because there's still a lot of value in having those personal relationships and expertise.
Exactly. AI is there to augment human capabilities, to make us more efficient and effective.
So it's like having a super-powered assistant by your side.
Exactly. And this AI-driven efficiency extends to the entire leasing process. The article talks about end-to-end automation becoming a reality.
End-to-end automation. So basically, AI handles everything from start to finish.
Pretty much. From credit assessments and underwriting to contract negotiations and document processing, AI can automate it all.
Wow. That sounds incredibly efficient, but what about the people who currently work in those roles?
That's a valid concern, and the article addresses it head-on. It's not about eliminating jobs, but rather shifting them.
So instead of getting bogged down in routine tasks, people can focus on higher-level things that require creativity and critical thinking.
Precisely. It's about leveraging human ingenuity in new and exciting ways.
Makes sense. Now, we can't talk about the future without mentioning blockchain. That seems to be the buzzword in every industry these days.
And for good reason. Blockchain has the potential to revolutionize securitization in equipment leasing and financing.
Okay, break that down for me. How does blockchain fit into all of this?
Well, remember how we talked about securitization bundling leases together? Blockchain allows you to tokenize those leases, creating digital representations that can be easily traded.
So instead of needing a huge amount of money to invest in a lease, you could buy a fraction of it through these tokens.
Exactly. It opens up investment opportunities to a wider range of people and makes the whole process more transparent.
It's like democratizing access to capital, which is pretty awesome.
It is. And lastly, we can't forget about ESG factors.
ESG, environmental, social, and governance, right? That's becoming increasingly important across all industries.
Absolutely. Companies that prioritize sustainability and ethical practices are going to have a competitive advantage.
Because investors and customers are looking for businesses that align with their values.
Exactly. So from AI-powered personalization to blockchain-enabled securitization and the rise of ESG, the future of equipment leasing and financing is looking pretty dynamic.
It's mind-blowing how much this industry has evolved in just a few decades. We started with handshakes and spreadsheets, and now we're talking about AI predicting our needs and blockchain making investing accessible to everyone.
It's a testament to the power of innovation and the industry's commitment to creating value.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
The key takeaway is that the equipment leasing and financing industry is constantly evolving. It's driven by technology, a focus on customer needs, and a commitment to sustainable practices. The future is bright, but it belongs to those who embrace change and stay ahead of the curve.
So true. To all our listeners out there, think about how these trends might impact your business. Are you ready for the hyper-personalized, AI-driven future of equipment financing? Because it's coming, whether you're ready or not. That's all the time we have for today. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into the fascinating world around us.